The lustrous stars in pro football's galaxy shine by virtue of those men who possess a more down-to-earth brilliance, the coach. Today on our show, we look at those men who have to wear many different hats, but who stamp their style on a team regardless of the hat they choose to wear. Sometimes their style may require an aristocratic air. Other times it requires being one of the boys. Some coaches build their style upon the quick quip, though even the wittiest among them realizes that winning is a serious business. A coach's style can be determined by where he coached prior to the NFL. There are those whose philosophies and strategies were formed on the college campus. Then there is Oakland's Tom Flores, who is one of 4 new members of the NFL's coaching fraternity. Flores was handed the reins of a team with a well-established winning tradition, one that he helped shape as the Raiders quarterback during the mid-'60s. Through the courtesy of Larry Brunson, number 82, the Atlanta Falcons learned the hard way that Flores' Raiders could still make the kind of big play that is in keeping with that tradition. Another component of past Oakland glory is the punishing runner, a role that Mark Van Egan, number 30, now fills most capably, especially when near the end zone. Against Atlanta, Van Egan scored 3 touchdowns. As in the past, the Raiders eagerly seized upon opponents' mistakes. Number 37, Lester Hayes, traveled 52 yards with an errant Steve Bartkowski pass. Atlanta eventually took some consolation in the performance of rookie running back Lynn Kane, number 21, who scored 3 second-half touchdowns. But the scoring passes on the Raiders' agenda had already put the game out of reach. Aided by Clarence Hawkins, number 26, Ken Stabler showed that an old pro can help make a winner out of a young coach. The 50-19 Oakland rout indicated that Flores may be steering his team toward the playoff territory they've traveled so often. The Patriots' Ron Earhart was in Midwest territory, Chicago to be exact, not too far from North Dakota, where he held his only previous head coaching job. But when Steve Grogan is on target, tiny North Dakota State College seems a long way off. With Walter Payton restricted to a mere 42 yards rushing, the only evidence of Chicago's offense was Bob Avellini's 54-yard touchdown pass to number 22, Dave Williams. But the hungry Grogan kept gorging himself on Chicago's defense. Number 81, Russ Francis, was the recipient of Grogan's 3rd and final scoring strike. With a 27-7 victory firmly in their grasp, the Patriots remain tied with Miami for the AFC Eastern Division lead, and Earhart may be another rookie coach who will be satisfied come playoff time. The 49ers' Bill Walsh would be satisfied with his first win of the season. He had hoped to find it at the Meadowlands, but San Francisco has yet to make the earth move, nor have they found a way to move adroitly on the earth. When Walsh, who coached 2 postseason bowl champions at Stanford, answered the NFL's call, he said goodbye to the semester break, something his team could use. While Walsh was trying to pick up the pieces, rookie coach number 4, the Giants' Ray Perkins, was suddenly putting all the pieces together. For the 2nd straight week, his number 1 draft choice, Phil Simms, showed that he has the makings of an NFL quarterback. After running for a touchdown, Simms threw for 2 more, both of them to number 83, Ernest Gray, also a rookie. New York triumphed 32-16, the most points by a Giant squad since 1975. Gray also discovered that developing a personal style has its problems. A discovery that the NFL's 4 newest coaches have no doubt already made for themselves. In Cincinnati, the winless Bengals awaited the arrival of the Pittsburgh Steelers with all the hope of someone who was wrong, the Ayatollah Khomeini. Head coach Homer Rice stood ramrod straight, even though his neck seemed poised for Paul Brown's noose. Only a win over powerful Pittsburgh would stave off the final verdict. A stunning catch by rookie tight end Dan Ross, number 89, set the tempo for the Bengals' astonishing blowout of the Steelers. In recent games, teams have had great success against the Steel Curtain by isolating their tight ends on safety Donnie Shell, number 31. While Ross exploited this Steeler weakness, quarterback Kenny Anderson victimized an all-out Steeler blitz with a touchdown to Rick Walker, number 83. The old football maxim that says the team that hits the hardest usually wins was brought home vividly to Steeler return specialist Larry Anderson, number 30. Anderson was clubbed down by number 59 rookie linebacker Howie Koenig, who ran the fumble back 12 yards for a touchdown. However, not by any stretch of the imagination was this win achieved by newfound Bengal brilliance. Rather, it came on the heels of an astonishing number of Pittsburgh mistakes. Many said it appeared that the teams had traded jerseys for this game, for surely it couldn't be the world champions who fell flat on their faces. The most grievous of the 9 Steeler turnovers was a fumble by Franco Harris. Harris's mistake was translated into a 27-yard touchdown by linebacker Jim LeClaire, number 55, as the Bengals not only sampled their first victory 34-10, but for a week at least saved the job of their head coach. One coach who had little to worry about was Dick Vermeil. On successive Sundays, his Eagles had beaten the Steelers and Redskins, and a victory over the Cardinals would give his team a gaudy 6-1 record. Everyone said Bud Wilkinson's team was better than their record. One reason was Mel Gray, number 85. In a foot race, he's a lot better than anyone else. Against the Eagles, however, victory often depends not on who runs the fastest, but who jumps the highest. For few can defend against 6'8" Harold Carmichael, number 17. 3 times the poised Eagles trailed St. Louis, and 3 times they rallied. Their last chance came late in the last quarter when Billy Campfield's slashing run ensured a 24-20 triumph. Tied with the Eagles atop the NFC East are the Dallas Cowboys, who grow more menacing with each passing week. Less imposing are Ray Malavasi's Los Angeles Rams. This season, the team is off to a mediocre start, and they are wobbling along, barely afloat in the NFC West. With 5 sacks, the Doomsday defense was dominant for a change. Nothing changed for the NFL's top-rated offense as they rolled merrily along. Remember the old child song that goes, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream? Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Such is the life of Roger Staubach, who at age 37 is playing better and younger than ever. Roger threw for 3 touchdowns against Los Angeles, and whenever the Ram defense bunched up ugly and mean, the trusty helmsman sent out Tony Dorsett to navigate the rough seas. The speed of Dorsett in the backfield is complemented perfectly on the flank by number 80 Tony Hill, who caught his 6th touchdown pass of the year. The game was a coach's dream as Tom Landry's Cowboys routed the Rams 30-6. Coach Dick Nolan has been preaching the defensive gospel to his New Orleans Saints for the past 2 years. It's not done too much good up till now. And when Tampa Bay jumped off to a quick 7-0 lead last week, it seemed as if Nolan's teachings would be ignored for yet another game. But the Buccaneers would not score again until the end of the game. Sandwiched between the touchdowns, the Saints put together one of their most consistent defensive efforts in several seasons. On offense, the Saints were as good as ever. Their attack ranked second in the conference, and a major contributor is running back Tony Galbraith, number 34, who accounted for 2 touchdowns on the day. Also scoring twice was reserve runner Mike Strawn, number 33. He helped New Orleans to a one-sided 42-14 romp over Tampa Bay, a team which had entered the game with the league's top-ranked defense. It was the most points yielded by the Bucs in nearly 3 years. In San Diego, offensive-minded head coach Don Coryell lets his assistants handle the defense. That approach seems to be working nicely, as the Seattle Seahawks quickly discovered last week. The Chargers logged 5 quarterback sacks and held the high-powered Hawks to just 10 points. Meanwhile, San Diego quarterback Dan Fouts set a team record by completing 80% of his passes. It all meant a 20-10 Charger win that kept them in first place in the AFC West. First place was not at stake in the NFC Central battle between Green Bay and Detroit. But both teams were hungry for a win, and for a time it looked like it would be the Lions who would get it. Rookie quarterback Jeff Comlo found Leonard Thompson for 1 score, while the defense provided another on cornerback Walt Williams' interception return. But Green Bay's defense had some pretty big plays of their own, including 4 quarterback sacks. Here, defensive end Mike Butler takes an outside charge and pushes the blocker into quarterback Comlo, forcing further retreat. For Butler, then, the rest is easy. Green Bay quarterback David Whitehurst provided the offensive spark with 2 touchdown passes, including a crisply executed screen pass to reserve fullback Walter Landers, number 42. It gave Coach Bart Starr's Packers a 24-16 win over Detroit, a victory that keeps them in contention in the suddenly competitive Central Division. Looking for an early favorite for Coach of the Year honors? Why not try Washington's head man, Jack Pardee? A rough season had been forecast for the rebuilding Redskins, yet right now they have the second-best record in football. This wasn't immediately evident last week against Cleveland, when Pardee's men started off poorly and, in fact, trailed through much of the game. But Washington has a knack for making important plays when they have to. There were none bigger in this game than John McDaniel's 62-yard pass play in the 3rd period, which led to a score. Trailing 9-6 with only 33 seconds to play, quarterback Joe Theismann hit number 38 Clarence Harmon for the winning score. The 13-9 Redskin victory was a testament to a team that hasn't had a first-round draft pick in 12 years. But they do have a lot of tough football players and a coach who has somehow managed to keep winning even as the team undergoes a period of adjustment. That is the mark of good coaching. And this year it means all the difference to the Washington Redskins and Jack Pardee. In Baltimore last Sunday, Colts head coach Ted Marchibroda found a sympathetic ear in Oiler head coach Bum Phillips. Marchibroda's problems stem from a puzzling team that has missed so many opportunities it could make a grown man cry. And enough bad bounces, it could someday cost him his job. It has been a frustrating season in Baltimore, and against Houston, the men whom Ted Marchibroda and his staff have entrusted their fate continued a season-long giveaway. On the other side of the field, that good old boy of a coach, Bum Phillips, could understand the sad plight of his Baltimore counterpart. But it didn't stop him from hitting the Colts with everything he had, including his pile-driving running back, Earl Campbell. Number 34 totaled 149 yards and scored 3 touchdowns as Houston won handily 28-16, while perhaps driving another nail in Ted Marchibroda's coaching coffin. The Orange Bowl has been a traditional graveyard for opposing coaches, something the Buffalo Bills of Chuck Knox knew last week. Don Shula's Dolphins seldom lose at home, and it had been 19 games spanning 10 years since Buffalo last beat Miami. Miami's defense choked off the Bills' once explosive offense while generating just enough offense of their own. The special teams provided an added lift when rookie Tony Nathan dashed 86 yards on the longest punt return in Dolphin history. The final was a 17-7 Miami victory, and no doubt one goal for Chuck Knox's Buffalo team in the future will be that of learning how to beat those elusive Dolphins. A sellout in Kansas City's Arrowhead Stadium last Sunday was due in large part to a new excitement generated by the Chiefs head coach Marv Levy. His approach has helped turn a young team in the right direction. However, last Sunday, his wing T offensive troops ran into a stone wall called the Denver Broncos. Denver dismantled the wing T and turned it against the Chiefs. Bill Thompson's touchdown put the Broncos up and pointed to a Kansas City shortcoming, because the wing T offense, like the college wishbone attack, is not a good offense if you're trying to play catch-up. The Chiefs got even further behind when number 7 Craig Morton got a hot hand. The sometimes good, sometimes bad quarterback enjoyed one of his good days, completing 17 passes for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns during a 24-10 Denver victory. It was a day when Denver's head coach Red Miller looked brilliant for playing Craig Morton, who had not started for several weeks, while Marv Levy bore most of the criticism for an offense even he concedes as conservative. Both, however, share the same blessing and curse, because you're only as good as your last game. And for all the coaches throughout the National Football League, that makes this week's game even more important than the last.